Happening right now, voters heading to the polls in Hamden for a special election for a new mayor. Comes a little more than a month after former Mayor Scott Jackson resigned to take a post in the Malloy administration. Now, the polls have been open since 6 o'clock this morning. News 8's Ken Pierce live in Hamden with more on the candidates hoping to win the town's top job. Ken.
And Keith, we've actually seen a pretty steady stream of people going in to vote this morning at several polling places. We know it's been a little bit more than a month since Mayor Scott Jackson resigned because the town charter says this special election has to take place within 45 days of the mayor's resignation. That time is about up. It's brought about this quite rushed special election that's taken some voters and maybe even some candidates a little bit by surprise. It is a strange sight. Voters at the polls on a Thursday in May.
That's a little unusual, but gotta do what you gotta do.
What voters in Hamden have to do is replace Scott Jackson. He had already served as head of the Sandy Hook Commission while he was mayor. He resigned as Hamden's mayor last month to be Governor Malloy's undersecretary for intergovernmental policy.
This is a unique situation in the state of Connecticut because the law is silent about replacing a mayor who leaves in the middle of the term where there's not a deputy mayor. Hamden doesn't have a deputy.
The town charter said voters had to choose a new mayor within 45 days. That time runs out at the end of this week. Since you can't have an election the day after a holiday, Tuesday was out, so the election is today, whether folks know it or not.
You know, I don't think a lot of people realize that the special election is going on, and I don't know if people are going to come out and vote because it is a Thursday, it's a work day.
Is it Thursday in May? I thought this was November. No, it's different. It's the first time. It's unusual, obviously.
Bob Anthony is the Republican candidate. He says more people are voting than he expected. Democrat Kurt Lang says he expected a decent turnout.
People aren't used to this type of an election, but I've knocked on 1,500 plus doors, and people are understanding that there's an election. It's not going to be a regular turnout like it is in November, but I think you're going to get a pretty good turnout.
Independent George Levinson agrees it won't be like a November election.
But considering how contentious the election has been, I believe it'll be remarkable.
Whoever gets the most votes will serve a remarkably short 6-month term.
The person will serve until the end of the regular term, which is November 29th.
And there'll be another election in November.
November 3rd, we're doing this again.
We're doing it again because November 3rd is the general election, and if there is a need for a primary election, that would happen on a Wednesday in September. It would also mean 3 mayoral elections in less than 6 months here in Hamden if that primary were to happen. Now, if you want to hear the candidates go a little bit more in-depth into their issues, I spoke with them more, and we've got a web extra for you on our website about that. That's on WTNH.com. We're live in Hamden. I'm Kent Pierce. Back to you.